Yeah.
I was lucky enough. I ran into them a couple times at card shows locally, but once they were going live and they went live from the card show, and it was super cool because it's not foreign to me because I break.
Yeah.
But for a lot of these guys, especially the vintage guys, they're mind blown watching. They're like,
Right.
what are they doing up there with the computer? And I thought that was the best idea in the world. How did any of you did they say anything about being there? Was it kind of a normal stream or like how'd that play out?
Uh, it was okay. It started a little bit slow. Like it was like we went back to 8 months ago when we first started and had no idea what we were doing.
It wasn't.
So it wasn't one that we advertised greatly or anything like that because you got to be okay looking stupid, right? And we
Sure.
we are starting to gain some followers, and they know us as a pretty reputable sort of thing. So if something got screwed up in that show, we didn't want 2,000 people in the room, you know.
Fair.
So it was a lower end show. We did do a hobby box in there. So what do we have? Like we did
Yeah.
optic Panini Contenders optic.
It wasn't
Okay.
that good because we had no good lighting or anything.
Yeah, the lighting
I
was
had-
bad once we got up there
I had
because
to-
all the lights from the show were like this way,
Right.
and the card was facing the camera, so there was no light on the card.
Right.
So we ended up that day, we went home and ordered a little light fixture that'll go onto my phone so that we can light up the actual cards and what
Oh,
we're trying to
nice.
do.
and microphones because
And
they
we ordered
couldn't hear me.
microphones because they couldn't hear him.
I'm gonna start carrying those around too.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
We
like,
bought ones with those little fuzzy things on top and stuff.
yeah, and a
But
lot of
here-
our people, I mean, our stream is very military, father and son, and then young kids. So he needs to be a part of the show. So me just standing there talking like this, it can be mundane. But when you add the 10-year-old that's having a blast, I mean, we got my old Army buddies that come into the show, and when we hit a great card, and there's been times where I have two or three of the boys here from the baseball team, and they're like, "Oh, we hit a Jaden Daniel," and they're going
super
nuts.
hyped.
Yeah, and the old Army guys are like, "That's why we collect. That's
Yes.
the feeling that we have is me being a 10-year-old and hitting a Michael Jordan card."
That
Right?
is awesome.
So when they hear these guys, it's like, yes, that's the feeling I have when that Jaden Daniels comes out. That's what I remember feeling like,
Right.
we started doing let me grab one real quick. We just got these. They're like so mystery packs.
That,
Oh,
yeah,
so
our little
mystery
repack
packs.
stuff that we're going to be doing.
And then you open hold on, where's the open it? There it is. You would open it, it would be like a stage of the military based on how good the card is.
Nice. So you guys haven't started those yet?
No, we're going to start those this week. We just hit 2,000 followers. So we're having a huge show on Sunday. We're doing a 2,000 follower show. Every time we hit 1,000, so on the very first 1,000, we did a free break, 100% free break. So all the boxes are on us. But how we do it for the shipping and everything is we sell singles. We'll start, like raw cards at $1. We'll start, PSA cards or whatever at like the price of grading. And every time you buy a single, you get into the lottery for the free break.
Nice.
But that's how we can ship it to you because you've already bought something, but the break is free. And we try to have a nice, cool something box that is going to be our free break. And I think we're going to add the mystery packs in there for at least one of them.
Well,
Kind of show everybody what it is.
that leads me into another question. I don't know how I spend entirely too much time online. And I'm really working on it. But a big point of contention in the hobby right now is repacks. And I have been involved in the repack game for probably about 4 years.
Yeah.
I love them. I personally love them, but I love certain ones. And I understand where, a lot of the distrust for it comes from. But if you can find, those guys that you like and trust, I mean, the repacks, I've done so much better, way better than wax. Ripping wax is like throwing money out of the window going down the highway.
That's why
Again,
we always try to have the hobby box.
right, and that makes a
Somebody
lot
will
of
hit
sense.
something, you know.
So have you ever gotten in repack breaks before, done stuff like that? Like
I have. I
of
actually have gotten
others?
into a couple of them. And what I like about the repacks, I mean, just even buying a repack, you could buy a box of cards, right? You can even buy a hobby box. You can spend $300-$400 on a hobby box, even
Or
up to
more.
1,000, right?
Right.
So thousands, right? You could buy a $2,500 box of flawless and hit $1,000 worth of cards. So you've lost, right? You're
Right.
gonna lose. There's not everybody's gonna hit that $10,000 card. If there's a $10,000 card, then there's probably a lot of $1,000 cards in those boxes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think what I like about the repacks is that if you're doing it with somebody honest, if it's a $50 to $250 repack, right? And you spend $125 on it, well, then you take the chance of losing $75. But that's the same chance you're going to take if you open up a $300 box of cards.
I'd like to think that your odds are probably better in a repack.
I think so too, especially when you're talking about, a lot of these guys that I've seen doing repacks, they're doing it like a case of cards where there is a case hit out of the 20, right? So
Sure.
somebody is going to hit a really awesome card, and it could be you, right? Buy a couple packs and it could be you. You could buy a case of, like we just hit a case hit out of a packet. You know what? It was at the when we did it live at the card show. We actually hit a case hit in that box, but it
Nice.
was a Blake Corum worth $20.
Yeah.
But it
Right.
was a case hit.
Yep.
So at least in the repacks, you're hitting a case hit that the guy is telling you the case hit out of this is worth $250, right? Instead of the case hit out of a wax box being $20.
Maybe. Yeah.
The
You
home
know?
field advantage cards, they're worth like nothing, but they're like trying to be a downtown or something, just
Right.
Yeah.
but they're not worth close to as much.
So when you guys break into those repacks, have you practiced Trey opening them?
Not yet.
Haven't tried doing repacks, just the blaster of Prism and the
I
show.
think they're easier. I don't do wax because for a couple reasons. Again, I can open packs at home, but when I'm trying to do it on camera, I'm just, they're going
Yeah.
everywhere. And then I don't like putting them in penny sleeves and top loaders anyways. And then on top of that, I'm so terrified to turn it into a PSA 6 from
Oh, yeah.
trying to slide it in. And then I don't like bagging it all up. So there's with a repack for me, and then with my son, it's easy for him to open. So the problem on my end is I think I'm being pushed out. All the guys that play in my room, they don't want me. They want him. They,
Yeah.
they have more fun. He opens better stuff. Like we'll try to do like box battles, and he'll do five, I'll do five, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
It just never fails. So so
I
Trey,
mean,
start practicing.
that's the goal, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
started this whole thing. The whole thing was started for him to learn how to run a small business.
Like you said,
Um,
this eventually, when I get older, could be my business.
Right. I mean, the goal would be for him to take over and I work for him. Right. That would be the goal. If at 13, 14 years old, Trey's like, hey, Dad, I want to get a new bike. I'm going to go downstairs and work.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
At 12 years old, I wanted to buy my sports cards. I started a landscaping business. My grandfather gave me a $200 loan. I spent $150 on at the time in the 80s on a push mower and a weed eater. And they lived in an older folks trailer park. And for $5, all the widows, I mowed all their yards. I would go on Sunday. I made $150 every Sunday, every Monday it was going.